All right, second vid going over the Terrorizer black metal, like the Terrorizer Secret History of Black Metal, large magazine I got back in 2009. Literally another epoch at this point. Don't you wish it was 2009? It's never coming back. So continuing on, they go here with the black, oh, look at that. Now, when you mention black metal to people, right, those who even heard, or have heard of it, one of the big tropes they will bring up was, oh, they burned the churches down, right? And it's the dawn of Satan's millennium, right? Which is of course Biharet, right? More on them later. So they're talking about the how the first wave, right, went into the second wave, like I had mentioned, right? The first wave of black metal influenced your thrash metal, okay? But it wasn't until like already the end of the '80s, where thrash and the old black metal bands, Venom, influenced people to take it even further, right, with death metal, right, and also in England, the whole grind earache scene, right, the you think about it, right, just more extreme, right, coming from a hardcore punk background, and metal, and it all mixing together, just like it was a great freaking time, dude. The late '80s, early '90s, man. Some of the best music coming out. And they mentioned like More Sound, right, in Tampa. Sunlight Studios, right, the one in Sweden. I think that was Gothenburg, where you had, Entombed, Dismember, all that great stuff, right? But there was like going to be a reaction to this, of course, always mentioned by Varg himself, but also Euronymous and others, right? Fenris, the black metal was sort of a reaction against the trendy death metal, which is hilarious because you think about it, right? It's trendy amongst a very small contingent of metalheads. I remember in Pennsylvania watching Headbangers Ball, and they had a Napalm Death video. I think it was The Plague Rages, and I remember like, yeah, I was into it, and like the guys watching it with me, when they liked metal, but they said, yo, that's just ridiculous, like that's too much, right? I felt the same way years earlier when the first time I heard death metal. I said, oh, I remember the first time I heard death. I think it was Leprosy, WSOU, right? Monday Night Mayhem. Anyone remember that? And I remember the first time I heard death, and I was like, oh man, like come on, dude. I was like, that's too much. That's too much. They're trying to just. And I remember my reaction. I'll never forget my reaction. It was too much, and they were just trying to be more extreme than Slayer. That was my teenage, early teenage, punk ass mindset. Like, yeah, they're just trying to be more extreme than Slayer, right? It didn't take long. Maybe I think it was like a month or so before I was getting into death metal. But anyway, so that was the reaction, right, going on. Now it's kind of funny because Mayhem started out. You could argue Mayhem was sort of in that first wave. I think Sepultura's first album came out. Maybe '86 is too late. Maybe '87, I think. I gotta look it up, but right, Death Crush. I like Death Crush. Death Crush is crazy, man. You listen to Death Crush, it's nothing like what it was gonna become. Right? Like I said. Anyway, it's not about Mayhem yet, but and like here, right, the music, the ability to rage long and hard on the guitar solo, right, or to have a guitar sound that sounded as crunchy as broken glass, were out. Atmosphere and feeling was the order of the day. The writing in this is great. uh, right, using the music was a means to an end. It wasn't the, I don't know how to say it. It wasn't like a means. It wasn't the process is the goal, right? It wasn't that. Like the music, the end, the means of the excuse me, the end of it was to have this atmosphere rather than to say, "Hey, look at me." You remember that Varg did the video where he's making fun of Immortal, essentially. Um, Look at me, look at me. It was he wanted to make music that took you to a place, a very personal place. Anyway, of course, now when you're talking about this, and too, it's good that they mention here, right, that you had other bands at the time. You had Japanese bands at the same time as these Norwegian bands, okay? And you had bands like, Rotting Christ was from Greece. Samael was from Switzerland. Vaughn, everyone forgets Vaughn. It was like in the mid 80s. South America, Blasphemy, right? The war metal thing, whatever that is. Profanatica, dude. Profanatica from New York. They were playing, you say, oh, it was more death metal, but they had the whole satanic vibe going. And of course, the of all, Biharet, right? Biharet, I remember them being called black metal, talking about being black metal or satanic death metal, but black metal, right? And so this is what needs to be remembered. Like I said, the one I took issue with Varg saying that it all started with them, but I sort of get what he was getting at. But it's just I didn't even mention all the bands in Asia. So I like this too. Look at this. I like the Fear of a Black Metal Planet. Remember that's a takeoff on Public Enemy album. And so they go there and they talk about the beef they had. Of course, there's the Sweden and Norway and Denmark. They always have kind of a little distance from Finland for different reasons. So he would say racial reasons. Please come on. It's like there is something to that. Okay, but there's nuance. You take things to an extreme, it's like you're killing the whole point. Anyway, I think so. All the people look at young Fenris. Look at him. Yeah, who's this dude? What is this? Oh my god! And you got, I think, early Mayhem. Right? Oh, dead. So anyway, just describing stuff with the probably, like I said, when you think of black metal, too, everybody thinks of the Norwegian. So I just say. So now this is Mayhem itself. Right? Mayhem, of course, mentioned the first Mayhem album is crazy, right? Yeah, Chainsaw Guts, fuck. Yeah, Primal Rehearsal Tape. Most badly produced, dude. Friggin' Maniac. Maniac is great, dude. Maniac's a great. I like his vocals. So you could argue that Varg ended up sounding like Maniac. He even mentioned that. So and of course the Mysterious Dom Satanas. And this is, all the hype aside, this is really good. Of course, the bass is by Mr. Vikernes. And I like Attila's vocals. I like his operatic, kind of creepy Peter Lorre type vocals. I know Varg didn't like it, but I sort of like, changing it up, the rules. So you have a band, Mayhem, with groundbreaking records that don't sound anything like each other. I mean, Jesus Christ, Live in Leipzig with Dead, the live album. Come on, Leipzig. Right, it doesn't sound anything like this. So it's very interesting. Of course, Euronymous. The thing with Euronymous is there's not a lot of sympathy for him because nobody liked the guy, the way he was. But what are you gonna do? And I know they actually made some stuff later. I never heard like the other stuff, but I've heard it was pretty good. Right, the Black Circle leader, Varg, you were in the Black Circle. Right. It was rumored Uranus owed him money. See, listen, I'm always thinking that. This heinous act. Whoa, well, slow down. It's self-defense. Well, I'm just saying, the whole thing with that, I like Varg, so I'll side with him because I like him better, right? I'm biased. And this is cool. They talk about this fight, too. This is about, like, now vinyl is a big thing. Like, all vinyl. But I remember, who really, in some ways you could argue, who really made the vinyl a thing? I would argue metal, the underground metal, black metal, or even like at Nuclear War Productions, or what's the one with that Hell's Headbangers with that big muscle dude who's kind of a jerk off, but he's kind of funny too. They were the ones. The vinyl push was coming from the underground, the black metal, the extreme metal underground. Okay, now all your metalcore, bands and everyone wants to, and all your hipsters want to do it, but it was these guys who were really pushing it, and the cassettes too. You still always had cassettes in the black metal, the grind. They kept making cassettes. Gore Noise, you can't make DVD, CD. You got to make cassettes. or you're a poser. That's right. So it's interesting too. They mentioned also like the vintage black metal. Right? If you have these hitting your ad, call us now. They want to give you. They want to tell you how many bloody pounds they're worth. So, which is funny. What's this? But some Eske. Meanwhile, that's not the cover for Eske. That's the cover for the self-titled debut. Interesting. Oh, Despel Omega. They were crazy. I remember. I think a French band. Anyway, Mutilation. Right? Is that the French band? So we're going here. I'm not gonna say I don't know. I never heard the section. I know this guy didn't end well, but I never heard the section. I know it's like what. So I need to check them out. Because I heard the one song I heard a riff of was actually a really awesome riff. Anyway, so now this is the whole thing of black metal, right? Oh, black metal, you're all Nazis, or you're murderers. Or if you are satanic, you're actually like doing like burning churches or doing sacrifices. Right? Black metal's most wanted. Right? Black metal's bad boys. Right? I'll go scandal. Right? This is all. This is, it's kind of like the. There's Varg in his skinhead phase. Of his alias Varg Quisling, right? Count Krishna. Add Louis Cachet to the like this. The original black metal whipping boy. Now it's kind of funny, right? Svengali, Euronymous. That's funny term. Americans V. Kernus now keeps busy as poster boy for the far right. Yeah, you would know nothing about the far right, right? Having spent some time writing his book. I never read that, right? Farming the land and keeping his head down. Well, Varg, this is before Varg is going to become a YouTube sensation. Okay? Turning out to be cooler than almost anybody in the metal fucking world. Giving good advice and living by good example of it. So good they had to throw him off. So, kind of like a happy ending, right? If you think about it. So, I think the other guy, Snore. You remember this dude? So, Story didn't come off too good. The guy not fraud. I never. Cardippy and Fart. They were experimental, but this dude's a little weird for me. The Taki, I don't remember this dude. He headbutted 6 months jail sentence for headbutting a dude. Really? You're gonna go? I thought they were very liberal up there. You headbutt a guy, you're gonna go to jail for 6 months. I like this. Also, unwisely appeared in Germany with his swastika on his chest. Unsurprisingly, an offense in Germany. And he refused to apologize. That's right. Good. I like this dude. Right. Right. Untermensch club owner. Yeah, go suck a Muslim. Oh, I don't know. Now you're going too far. So and this is a bar. I'll go with this dude. Obviously, something happened here where he killed somebody. And it was a proposition to him. He was harassing him. No, I don't. I don't know. So, this something with this dude happened. Everyone knows. I mean, that lifestyle is all about danger, to a masochistic degree. But I mean, obviously, this guy didn't end up too good. He looks like an Italian dude, right? Somewhat. Obviously the bass player. This is the dude. This guy, I believe, burned the churches. So, I'm not sure who's this dude. He faked his own suicide, leaving it. That's funny. That's kind of interesting. I don't know too much about him. Of course, Gal. Remember Gal from the metal documentary? So, relatively privileged background. Two stretches in prison for assault. Interesting. Accusations of blood drinking. That's kind of cool. So, it's a very weird dude, very weird wine enthusiast, and apparently he's gay. So interesting. But the dude, like I said, like Mishima said, left wing, right wing, I don't care. Violence. I support violence. And the guy from Absurd, I heard some stuff from them. Doesn't sound very black metal, but look at this. Oh, he actually, what is this? It's funny how this shows you the priorities in Deutschland. Okay, even though they could all go to hell and the governments. You participated in the murder of a 15-year-old classmate while a teenager, sentenced to 8 years, freed in '98. But then he gave a Nazi salute during a concert, violating his parole terms. So that was a bridge too far, and he went to the U.S. And he was, wow, William Luther Pierce, wow. And he actually, William Luther Pierce let him stay with him, interesting. But he was captured by U.S. Marshals. Well, they had, they got their priorities too, apparently. He was deported and returned to prison in Germany. There you go. Oh, murder, you out in 4 years, but God forbid you give that, you give that salute. Ah, yeah, as my grandfather would say.